We start. Also, breaking ist ja hier schwierig. Okay, I did some workout, I did some warm-up, and I quickly want to welcome you here. I was just getting some information from the cameraman, but I couldn't even understand it. So yeah, my name is Jörg Ludewig. Maybe you don't even know it, but normally I'm called Lude. This is my pain cave at the moment, and I really welcome you here. Normally this is the home of several beautiful Canyon bikes. It's our so-called service course. We are here in Bielefeld at the Dr. Wolf Group, at the company producing the famous shampoo. And yeah, today we want to kick ass a little bit. We want to kick ass the coronavirus, and we want to try to motivate you to have a look in the mirror and to get you off the corona couch, motivate you to double check your status quo, double check your fitness level, because sometime, hopefully soon, this corona crisis will be over, and then we surely want to be fit again when we are able to go back on the road. So that's why we are today here, why we will do an FTP test. We will join our team, the team Alpecin. We kept going, even if it's not analog at the moment and only digital. Welcome to my team Alpecin 2020. Very nice to have you guys here. And we also have 5 VIP guests joining our FTP test later on. First of all, I'm happy to welcome Celine Del Carmen Alvarado, the brand new female cyclocross world champion from the team Alpecin Phoenix. She will be with us. Dries de Bond and also Mathieu van der Poel will join. Then we have our hero testimonial from Italy, good old fellow Maurizio Fondriest, one of the best buddies I ever met, and still great in shape, still really, really strong. And yeah, I'm really happy he will join. Phil Gaiman will be with us, and yeah, we will have a meet-up ride together with those guys. And for sure, if you want to join as well, if you want to do the same in the same time, just put on the FTP test on Swift, the 73-minute one. You find it in your workouts, and you have to start at 7:15 p.m., so not too long. Then you will have a 45-minute warm-up, and then it's bam, 20 minutes all out, all out. You have to find a good balance, but with me, I'm very happy to present them later on. I have 2 really well-known and well-educated guys in this performance and endurance performance world. It's on one hand, Björn Geesmann, the boss of Steps, the Trainings Institute, supporting and training us. And on the other hand, we have the co-editor from the Road Bike magazine and a good friend of mine, Daniel Beck. So they will guide you a little bit through our journey today. They will explain more about the details. What the hell is the FTP? Functional threshold power, what the hell does that mean? For me, it has always been the aerobic level. So for me, it was, what is the value you can push in the pedals for at least 1 hour without falling off the bike? Yeah, very easy explained, but it's a lot around and about this. But the good thing is we don't have to ride 1 hour full gas to see what happens inside and with our body. We can do it with 20 minutes. And this shows pretty nicely how our current status quo, how our fitness level is currently located. In the end, when you have your latest data and when you have the shock from your mirror, I'm really not in that great shape, you can do several things. You can download your trainings plan from wherever you want, but you can also do this from Alpecin Cycling. We will offer several guidelines, and for sure we have this nice 3 months planning for you to be ready to get back in shape or to stay in shape if you are already fit. Many of you guys have had this lockdown and have trained a lot on the indoor trainers. We are very happy. Even in the crisis, we've been supported super good and well from our partners like ASOS. This is not the new bike already, but already still a Canyon. I'm already using the Gebiomized saddle from Münster, and I'm getting along with it really, really well. And my nickname is Analog Lude, so I started with the digital world really, really late, and I'm happy I did, even if I was forced to do it by the crisis. Wahoo has supplied us with the kicker, with the element roam, and with the headwind. And don't underestimate the headwind. You will see how you will sweat in the FTP test later on. So this is a very nice setup, and once again, thanks to the guys from the States, from Wahoo. We are really happy we already got the gear up front the crisis because, yeah, a lot of people suffer of it, but those guys for sure, they participate and they can sell every gear they find in the warehouse. Yeah, Daniel Beck and Björn Geesmann will tell you more details about what an FTP test is all about, what the values show you later on, and what you can do with it if you don't want to have a proper trainings plan. But I can really push that, or I want to push that you have somebody to look at it in a proper way, because this is what makes you better. I'm not a trainer, but at least I tell my daddy since 40 years, Daddy, maybe you can also use the little chain ring. But for him, training is suffering, and training is the big chain ring. Even with 70 years, it's difficult to create a learning. Okay. Perfekt. Ja, okay. Jetzt kann ich euch auch hören. Das ist super. Technical background, technical world and Lude to combine is not that easy. But yeah, this is what you can do afterwards with these FTP test results. And the most important thing is that you kick yourself, kick your motivation and get out of this world of the crisis and do something for you. Because when it's over, we all want to be ready, we all want to be fit. And this is what we're trying to do. This is what we want to give you a little push. Yeah, what... it's too loud here. What else can we say? The FTP test will be 43 minutes warm up. We will have a rundown. You will see it. But if you don't want to join it on Swift, or you can use whatever you want, whatever you are used to in TrainingsPeaks or on your other device. You can do the Wahoo FTP test, whatever you want. It's all about starting. You can maybe compare it with a diet. The two hardest things for me to start a diet, the point when I start, when I switch, when I turn on the button, okay, now I take care of what I eat. And after 3 days, when you have lost the water, when you have lost the first kilograms, and you have to go to the basic. The body wants to burn and needs to burn your fat and not only get out your water. These 2 points, they are, for me at least, the most difficult ones. And this is a little bit comparable with what we have to do now. You have to start now, and then you have to really keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. What I do, I put my cycling stuff in front of the bed. At least I have a really big problem to step over it in the morning, because I have programmed to do at least 45 minutes of cycling in the morning, early bird ride. So now we have 7:10, so we start. We try to get prepared, we try to get ready. I have my towel, I have prepared my bottles. Hopefully the boys will bring over my iPad soon. And then we start. We start with the warming up. For the guys of my hobby team and of the group of the meetup, please turn off the ERG mode and go into your workouts in your profile, inside your profile on the Swift account, and turn on the FTP-Test. Hello, Tim, I need it. Please hand it over because I have to also, thank you, have to enter the meetup. Here we are. And now I go in the menu. I go inside the workouts.
Ja, ich habe schon 781.
Workouts.
Geil. Ja, ich jetzt auch.
Okay. And now we, the
cool.
guys in the meetup, take
Oh, jetzt sind wir bei dem Bild.
73
Wir sind im Bild. Nimm die Hand vom Mund.
minute workout. Okay, and this is now implemented inside the meetup. Very good. Back.
Boah, sind wir verspätet dran.
ERG is on.
Geesmann.
Oh Gott.
Geesmann. Nimm die Hand vom Mund.
ERG is on. Now we have to. ERG is off. Did he do it?
Jetzt warten alle auf Mathieu van der Poel im Chat.
Lude sollte uns mal begrüßen.
Ja, er hat aber schon viel über uns erzählt.
ERG.
Aber wir haben ja eine mega Verzögerung.
Ja, damit muss man sich abfinden. Deswegen musst du gleich, also ich würde halt echt YouTube-Ton ausmachen.
Okay. Now you can see 2 more minutes. And then we start. As mentioned, we have our. Boah, ist das schon hart hier. My colleagues are waiting already.
Bin ich jetzt die ganze
Daniel
Zeit im Bild, die
and-
sollen jetzt Bier
Ja.
trinken.
Ich verstehe es auch nicht.
Daniel and Björn Geesmann are already here.
Ja.
And we have 1:30, 1:40 to go. So those two guys let you know a little bit more about everything of the FTP test and all the things going to come in the next 72, 73 minutes.
Also halbe Minute sind wir zurück.
Okay. One minute to go. Watopia, Flat World, everything is here. Okay, the FTP test is shown here on my screen. So this works well already. Oh, already heartbeat 120. Whew. So half a minute to go. Fasten seatbelts. Oh, I'm a fat old guy. Whew. Whew, whew, whew. Okay. 10 seconds. Cool, everybody waiting here of our group. So, good luck everybody, enjoy 73 minutes of suffering, more or less. Here we go. Ja. Die könnten jetzt eigentlich, also ihr könnt jetzt gerne, guys, I start riding. So you can now start about welcoming our Jedermann riders, our Gran Fondo riders, our guests, and I will take care of my bike. Ooh. Unfortunately, my heartbeat is not shown here, but I think the error is sitting in front of the computer. It's not a problem of the computer. It's always like this. But at least the good thing is, come over. We have my heartbeat here on the Wahoo computer. So in the end, it's not an issue at all. I guess I have 2 less ports and too many Bluetooth connections running, and a 5-year-old iPad seems to have trouble to handle it. Celine Del Carmen Alvarado is joining. Beautiful kit, Alpecin Phoenix avatar. Looks really cool. I've also asked the guys from Swift to maybe get it for our hobby riders for future rides here in the digital world. So, ich dachte, du redest mit mir. Guys, it's a nice test, huh? It's a nice thing. We tried the first time. This crisis forces us to do new things. For sure, I'm one of those who loves to steer, to try to teach other people how to handle their bikes. And Mathieu is my godfather. I guess there are few people on the level of bike handling Mathieu has. Maybe Sagan, but not many more riders. So for sure this is a little bit what I really love. But in the end it's better than nothing, by far better, and I really stepped in late, but I love to get more out of it. And I was really hardly kicked ass 1.5 weeks ago in my first Swift race. I can tell you, new rules, other and new rules. It's really crazy. If you go off the pedal only 1 second, you get dropped immediately, and it's by far harder to close the gap on Swift. Hey, now I can see Frankie, Frank Eggert. Hi, Frankie. Nice to see you, even if it's only on the digital world. Good to have you on board. For the German-speaking guys, his nickname is the Buffet-Fräse, and he loves choco bananas. And he's a great guy, one of the nicest persons I've met. Very helpful also with the Swift world, as he's part of the Swift Riders Germany. So welcome, Frank. I don't know if Frank can hear us already, if he's connected. I can hear sound, but I cannot hear Frank. So I will keep on going, say hi to all the other riders of this year's team. Once again, we have been able to select 14 riders, female and male, from all over Europe. If I'm not wrong, we had 8,000 applications. So I'm really grateful and happy. So many people once again tried to be part of 250 to be part of the project. And also, if the guys are watching and joining in this second, big thank you to all friends helping out, creating this design. I guess it's pretty cool. We tried to implement the shampoo when you have it in your hand, the look of the so-called bulk inside the design of the latest Team Alpecin kit. Oh, this is really a warm-up. As mentioned, Swift World is different. And I really loved to find out some news about it. Ooh. Oh, nearly 7 minutes done. Hey guys, just to let you know, Björn and Daniel, I would love to talk to you. I would love to hear you. I would love to see you, but right now I don't see you.
Issue.
Okay, technical issue, whatever. That's good. Then I keep going. I can tell you a little secret from Canyon. Normally it should have been a surprise for tomorrow, but maybe it's a good thing right now. Yesterday I got a nice call from my old fellow and former team colleague and really good rider, or winner of an Olympic gold medal, Andy Walzer. Andy is the head of Pro Sport in Koblenz at Canyon, and he said, Lude, we need the bikes. We need the bikes you normally should have got for your team. But you can now decide which color you want. And in the end, new facts always also create really nice new opportunities. So I've been able to send Andy the Pantone color code of this nice jersey, and we will have individual bikes in a color matching with the jersey. Nice white decals of Canyon on those endurance frames, enduro-race frames, sorry. And I guess it will be a really, really, really beautiful bike. And once again, thanks to Roman Arnold and thanks to Andy Walzer, to all the nice guys in Koblenz supporting us and supporting the Alpecin Cycling world. In the end, we came together years ago, and now we even became big partners at the Alpecin Phoenix team, and I'm honored and grateful you guys from Koblenz support us since ages with your beautiful bikes, with your good bikes, which now, due to that error, may become even more beautiful. It's really, really cool. Tim, kannst du mal mein Handy bringen? Wir machen jetzt hier Freestyle. Some freestyle is always cool. Here we go. Okay, maybe Andy Walzer will hate me now, but Andy, sometimes we also have to show cool things. So once again, a big thank you to Canyon, to Koblenz, to make this happen, to have individual colored endo race frames for the Team Alpecin 2020. So 11 minutes done now, pushing 250 watts at the moment with a heartbeat of 130. I guess I'm now 78.5 kilograms, and I should be able to have 315 to 325 watt average, so an FTP around 320 would be good for me. And in the in the screen I can see Mathieu and I guess it's Dries, huh? Yeah. I can see them, but I cannot hear them now. Hi guys, if you can hear me,
Hello.
thanks for joining. Thanks for preparing. Hi.
Hello.
Good to see you. Thanks for joining,
you hear me
guys.
as well?
I know you already did a pretty hard training session today, and
Yes.
it's really cool to have you on board and support our cycling fans all over the planet, all over the world from Alpecin, and yeah, to get the people off the couch and try to get a status quo of their current fitness level. Really cool to have you guys here. Thank you. Cheers.
Ja, dat is hoe hij Jorg niet zegt.
Ik hoor u nu wel, Dries.
Hoort me wel.
Hoort je mij?
Ja, wacht. Ja.
I can hear you now.
I can hear you
alright,
too.
perfect.
Ah, that's good.
My audio was too not loud enough.
Very good, guys. How are you? How are you guys doing? It's a real frustrating situation, I can imagine, for everybody who likes riding bike, but for those guys making their money, and with guys like you in the classics, I think it's really painful. But how do you get along with it? What do you do? Do you train? How do you stay with your weight?
How do you stay with your weight? It's quite easy actually. I just flipped the switch. I just flipped the switch mentally from the moment I knew there was not gonna be any racing anymore. I know I can handle this kind of situation. I think better than the average rider mentally because of my history, and I don't know. I consider my own mental game rather strong, so I like to see this as an advantage for me when the season kicks off again. And now today we heard about possible first calendar.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be golden summer for us. And yes, like I said, I started the season pretty good.
Yeah.
Considered normally
First victory on the road.
Yeah, exactly. So I try to take that with me in my head, and it keeps me motivated. And also, yeah, other riders now aren't able to show their good form. So yeah, I'm happy with how the season started. And now we are also very lucky. We live in Belgium and we can train outside. Today I went outside for 4.5 hours already. So you can hear me still?
I can hear you.
No. Right now I can't hear you anymore. Sorry, Dries. Line has been cut.
You hear me, Jörg?
Yes, now it's better again. Yes.
Yeah. Better again. So yeah, I said we were lucky we are living in Belgium because here we can train outside.
Yeah.
If you take a look at the other countries like France or Italy or Spain, it's prohibited to go outside, and they all need to do the training sessions on Zwift, which is not so bad, but I enjoy once in a while the real outside, I think.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Mathieu is the godfather of skills and how to handle a bike, and he recovers even better than other riders due to his skills. And now we have to push the pedals, and we don't go ahead, we don't have to steer. It's a nice world, I really enjoy it. And I think we have seen in this race, which I was commentating with Lionel Sanders, how different and how difficult it is with guys who are used to these platforms, right?
Yeah, it is. And I think also you have to know the game a little bit, and you have to know when to use the power-ups.
Yeah.
And for us, it was the first time. And I think those guys are really experienced in it, and they know how to handle the input delay as well. So, but I think it was really fun, and I think Zwift is also a nice alternative for those who can go and ride outside.
I think it was a cool first kickoff, and it was quality-wise a nice way to try to get through this. At least we got
Is it already difficult for you to talk?
Thank you,
I
Mathieu.
hear you breathing a lot.
I'm an old fat man. I'm breathing a lot, that's right. But I have more watts here. I know, that's impossible.
It's the watts per kilogram that counts.
Yeah, I know.
So I win.
Wait, Mathieu, wait until you have a 5-year-old daughter and you face Easter holidays and Christmas and those
Chocolate.
things. Chocolate. Yeah, it's a problem. I try to show her not to eat too much, and then in the background I eat all of it.
We understand.
Yeah. So, are you guys planning to do a little bit more on Zwift the next days, except training? Are you going to again race, or what is your idea about that?
We have another social ride planned with the team as well. That's coming up that I know of. But as Dries just said, I think in Belgium we're really lucky we can still train outside, and the weather has been really good as well. So I think most people and most riders, when they have the choice, they prefer to go outside, of course. But yeah, like they said as well, other countries, they're at home and they're forced to be at home, and then I think Zwift is the best way to keep it fun and to keep the shape as good as possible.
Yeah. And what those guys have developed in the past 5, 6, 7 months is really great. I just learned about all the options, and I'm really overwhelmed how cool and how close the feeling, how authentic the feeling is compared to the road. And I guess there is also a reason why the triathlete Lionel Sanders, for example, is that strong. He's crazy. He's nearly also training indoor when swimming and running, but I think the power he has shows that it is, or there's a reason why. Oh, right at 290 watts, sorry. I have to.
The new warm-up has started, I think.
No, what Lionel Sanders showed was a piece of art, I think. But it's like Matthias says, it's a real kind of specialization to do those Zwift races. Because there are some factors that are different from the road. Just like I tried to attack in the start of the race, and I immediately found out it was not such a good idea.
Yeah, I saw that.
If you can do a strong performance on a Zwift race, you don't overdo yourself. To try to sustain a consistent power output as high as possible, and without too many peaks. And it will be likewise in this FTP-Test. Try to sustain a constant power level and not overdo yourself in the start, especially because you'll find a wall. You must be done, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, the warm-up is getting a little more interesting now.
355 watts. That's good for me. 21 minutes done. 20 seconds for 20. Oh. Ich kann nicht hören, sorry. Pop. Okay. Hey guys, do you also hear this? Tuck,
Yes.
tuck. Okay. Then we cut that line for the moment and involve the other guys, okay?
Okay,
Thanks for the second.
bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
De nada.
Oh. Boy, I even look bigger and more fat on the screen. Something is wrong with your camera. Right at 420 watts. Komme ich doch gar nicht hin. Oh, it's really exhausting. So heartbeat 155. That's a real warm-up. The Zwift guys are doing for us. Really cool feature. My heart belt is connected directly to the Wahoo headwind. So depending on the heart rate, the headwind ventilator pushes more or pushes less. So this is really cool, I guess. Installed it only by today. Really happy, thanks Frankie and Ingo, to have this. Otherwise you would melt. And it's not just a ventilator, huh? You can combine it with many different devices, and you can set up the Wahoo headwind with heart rate, with speed, or with power. So I quickly got the help, thanks Frankie, from Frank, and we connected it, we paired it with my heartbeat, which I guess was a good decision. So right now we are on 5 minutes, 195 watts. I think my saddle is still a bit too high. This is something also to be mentioned. the real position of your saddle, you can only find it when you push hard. And normally, from my learnings of 30 years of cycling, when it's slightly too high, you feel it only when you push hard. So an FTP test is also a very good tool to control your position on the bike, because feeling well, 120 heartbeats, 3 hours, is one thing, but feeling well when you really have to push hard is another thing. So maybe also something which this test is good for. 25:50 now done. We are still on the 5-minute 195 watt level, and the next the next will already be 5 minutes 3:55. Whew. So this warming up is a race without numbers on the jersey. I have to apologize. Our real heroes, the educated guys, which should have told you a lot of training's background, couldn't be involved. Now at least I can see their beautiful faces again, and I can hear them as well. So if you are now here, and if you are technically able to and willing to, then happy welcome, and please overtake. Take over. Overtake is something else, something different. So now we have Björn Geesmann and Daniel Beck in the game as well.
Lude, thanks for the introduction. I'm totally impressed so far. So do not hesitate to go ahead with 350 watts already, because warm-up also has to be intensive before you start the FTP test. So perfect so far. Very, very well to see you.
Yeah, it has been harder than expected. Mathieu was joking, pushing 350 watts, joking and laughing about me, not able to breathe and talk in the same time. But let us know a little bit more who you are, what are you guys doing. I tried to explain why we are here, but what can the people do with the results they achieved by today?
Yeah, so thanks for the introduction. I guess that 350 watts for Mathieu is something like recovery training zone or something like that. So for him it will be, I guess, the best FTP results today will be generated by Mathieu, so everybody can be safe that this has not to be normal already. So if you are riding 100 watts or 150, 100 or 80 or 200 watts, it's already fine so far. So do not worry about the watt values or power values you see on your screen, Lude, or also on the screen of Mathieu. So first of all, I want to thank everybody participating in this event so far, because I think this is pretty well so far. Good to see you all on the bikes and so on. We're doing the FTP test. You said it before that it is like functional threshold and power. So functional threshold power means the power output you can generate over 60 minutes. So the maximum power output you can generate over 60 minutes. And FTP is like same procedure you would say in Germany is like anaerobic threshold, maybe you know from sports science. And your FTP or anaerobic threshold, which is nearly the same, is maybe your level of performance at the moment. And what we were trying to generate by now is to do the 20 minutes test to, in the end, have a percentage which you have to reduce your power output over the 20 minutes to get your right FTP values, which is like 5 to 10%. And in the end, after the FTP test, you should know your actual power output or your actual performance level. And what the Alpecin Cycling Challenge is to have 3 months of training. This is what we try to figure out for everybody out there dealing with the problems that he cannot maybe train outside or do competitions and do races and so on and so on. And the 3 months cycling challenge is 3 months of training, and the main goal is to higher your FTP, or in the end, to higher your performance level at first.
Okay, so a good kick in the ass as well of Corona virus as of everybody on the couch at home, right?
That's it, and that was the main topic of the whole project. So the main topic or the main goal or the aim of this project is to get everybody up off the couch or off the sofa, and in times where there's no racing, there's no maybe training in groups and so on, to find an alternative where we can all do what we love to do, which is riding our bikes. And this is the challenge, and this is what we're doing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Lude, you looks really great in the warm-up.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Maybe for the warm-up, just to explain it again, so not that anybody is wondering why warm-up has to do with about 350 or 400 watts. So it's a warm-up for an FTP test means, on the one hand, to go easy for the first 10, 15 minutes, but then have some part of intensive riding already to get all the cardiovascular system ready for the FTP test. So do not hesitate to go hard or to sweat or to breathe harder and so on. This is all the stuff you have to do in advance of the test you do by now later.
But it's like a little bit, it sounds like a little bit lactate shocking, or Björn?
It does not only sound like, it is like some sort of lactate shocking, because what we have to do is to bring all the aerobic and anaerobic systems to work, let's say, because all the systems will be from the first minute of the FTP test working on the most highest level you can have, and therefore we have to try it first in the warm-up so that everybody is running smoothly throughout the 20 minutes.
But if I'm not on Swift, can I do a special warm-up, or what is important for the warm-up? What it is important to have a special protocol, or it is more important to do a little bit things in the red zone, for example, only for 1 or 2 minutes and go slower, and the next time go a second time for 1 or 2 minutes and go slower? And if you start with the test, the guys will start at 1958, that you will be a little bit recovered when you start the test?
Perfectly described. So the FTP test, the 20 minutes, starts in about 10 minutes. Even if you're not on the bike already, go ahead, jump on, and start the warm-up so far, because the main goals of the warm-up, Daniel, like you said, is to have an easy warm-up at first, to get the legs a little bit fresher than they were at the running of the day, and then have some intensive workout where you can put all the systems on the run for the FTP test. So lactate production should be up, lactate utilization should be up, and everything which is important for the 20 minutes test. And in the end, it doesn't really count if it's about 3 or 4 or 5 minutes of doing an intensive warm-up. It's about just to get all the systems running. And this is the main goal of the warm-up, to start the FTP test in about nearly 10 minutes so far.
Okay, do you have an idea how the guys who will join us today do their pacing, or how should, or what is the idea of the pacing of an FTP test?
So it's always the same. So if you tell a cyclist to go 20 minutes full gas, at first it will always be the same procedure. It will be too hard in the end. It will be very, very, very difficult in the middle of the 20 minutes. And in the end, you can still push harder to get even a higher output in the end. So it's nearly like you start maybe too intensive, but you shouldn't start the test way too expensive in comparison to your threshold. So let's say if your threshold is about 250 watts, it's no problem to start at 280 or even maybe 300 watts. And after 2-3 minutes, do not hesitate to put the power output a little bit down, go to whatever, 280, 270, 260 watt, depending on how you feel. And do not also hesitate if it feels a little bit worse than maybe the first 30 seconds or 60 seconds of starting the FTP test. And yeah, honestly, then you have to go through it. So from, let's say, minute 2 to 3 until minute 17 to 18, it will be like Lude said, a kick in the ass to push you up, to motivate yourself, to always get back to to your power output and so on. And the goal should be for the end to put all the power out you can. So the test of 20 minutes is about to go all out. So in the end, you did it perfectly. If you're able to say that 20 minutes was the maximum duration you could go for the power output, so that 22 minutes was not even possible because you were so done after the 20 minutes. So that should be the main goal. The average power over the 20 minutes was what is counting. But do not hesitate if there's some kind of plateau in the middle. If you do feel bad after 8 minutes, if you started the test too intensive or whatever, just go ahead
What
and
about
go all
feeling
out
bad
for 20
after
minutes.
the warming up?
Okay, when we will go one step back, you explained us a little bit about the Alpecin Cycling Challenge, and we do today an FTP test, or if people has no time today because the wife has birthday or something else, they can do this test. I think 1 or 2 days later, but it's important to do the same protocol.
Even if your husband has birthday, yes, definitely. So no worries if you cannot do the test, the FTP test on Wednesday, the 15th of April at 7 p.m. So no problem at all. The Alpecin Cycling Challenge only says that it's about 3 months of training, doing an FTP test at first and doing an FTP test in the end. So, and you can start doing the FTP test today, tomorrow, on the weekend, maybe mid of next week, depending on whatever you feel like. If you are ill today, don't do it. If your wife or husband has his birthday or her birthday, do not do it, depending on your relationship. But the main thing is, do the FTP test whenever you feel like doing it. Have the 3 months of training to competing in the Alpecin Cycling Challenge, and then do the FTP test in the end, and see how your performance output or your power output or your performance levels got higher throughout the 3 months. That's
okay.
The reason why we're doing it.
We are speaking about this like a little bit nerdy talk, like anaerobic threshold and FTP test. But in the end, I think it's a test which shows
duration. So power output over like 60 minutes, for example, like an FTP, is maybe the most valid value you can have for your endurance, let's call it capacity, for your performance level, for whatever you want to name it. And when it comes to the endurance level or performance level, or in the end your threshold or FTP, it's always about two systems going on. So at first you got like lactate production on the one side. On the other side, it's about utilizing the lactate. So whenever these two energy metabolisms are on the same level, you can talk about threshold. So production and utilization of lactate is the same level. That is where your anaerobic threshold is. That is where your performance level is. So in the end, you cannot have a better value for your performance level than doing 20 minutes full gas all out and take the average power and pick out your FTP from the 20 minutes test on.
Okay, but it's important to do the same test with the same protocol 3 months later on, because then you have the same system, for example.
Definitely important, because what we want to do in the challenge is to compare the first test to the second one. The first test is at mid of April. The second one would have been on an important stage of the Tour de France. Today we heard that the Tour de France will not be taking part in July in France, but will we take part in end of August, then going on to September. but you have the 2 FTP tests, and what you have to do is to have some sort of standardization to do all the FTP tests on the same, let's say on the same bike, on the same indoor trainer. If you do it indoor, do it also indoor on the second test, and so on and so on. So the higher the standardization, the better your, or the more valid, let's say, your performance level will be in the end.
Okay. Between these 2 tests, we have a 3 months training plan for all the guys who want to join us at the Alpecin Cycling Challenge. You will find the training plan from now on, from the first 4 weeks on alpecincycling.com, and you can also download the training plans on Training Peaks. If you have an if you get our Alpecin Cycling newsletter, then you can you get a bonus of the trainings plan. It's really cool. If you want, you can subscribe today or tonight for the newsletter. We will write a short message in the chat version, and then you can start from, I think it's from Monday on, but we start with a recovery day. It's like a little bit my day, for example. I will do the challenge also, but only on Monday, because I think every Monday is a recovery day. Björn, you are the mastermind of these plannings and of the challenge. Can you explain a little bit what is behind these units or these trainings units, for example?
So recovery day, or like we call it, Daniel, every day?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Just wanted to make that clear. It's always good to see all the other people suffering while we're sitting just on the table and just have to talk. So I like that one. So
in the background, it's only for the show. It's not my bike.
Yeah, totally. So could you get me the bike back, which is hanging on your wall? So, but it was no problem to give it to you just for this day and just for the presentation. So it's fine already.
One quick second.
Okay.
I have only 1 minute left, and then I cannot talk anymore.
Yeah.
So I
go ahead.
Good luck.
I want to say thank you, guys. Talk. And Björn, also explain a little bit that you are not only training fat old men like me or Daniel, but that you are a star trainer, taking care of some of the best triathletes on the planet. See you soon, guys.
So first of all the best, Lude. So 20 minutes all out. Go ahead, full gas. This is all that counts so far. Yeah, thanks for also that one, because I think today it's not only about cycling. Maybe it's also about having all the 2 different disciplines into it, like swimming and running. Maybe there are some triathletes following the channel by now from the Alpecin Cycling FTP-Test. So if I'm not training like you said, fat old guys, which I do not really see if I have the screen on me, so you look like maybe not the first time you were riding the Tour de France, but maybe like the 3rd time. So you know that better than me. But normally, my daily job is to have triathletes, professional triathletes like Patrick Lange or Boris Stein, for example. And it's the same procedure. So what I'm doing with them is to train them, to check their performance, to do bike fitness for them, to try everything belongings to aerodynamics, for example. And what we are doing also is to have the FTP test, or more or less all the critical power stuff you can do in the field. So in field meets on the uphill climb or on the flats and so on, but just outside on your own bike, is one of the main parts to check the performance level of whether it's a cyclist or a triathlete on his second discipline. And if you have a look on professional cycling or triathlon, it's always a good combination to have like laboratory testings, and it's still about measuring lactate, measuring VO2 max or VO2 values, and so on and so on, and to combine these laboratory stuff with some practical testings you do out there in the fields, or let's say on the street. And this is something we do all the time. So far it's April. If there wouldn't have been Corona, we had a performance test in December in the lab. We did a performance test 10 days later with Patrick Lange, for example, on Mallorca. The uphill climb to Klosterlück, perfect place to do some FTP testings on the outside. We had a whole lot of training for the next 2.5, like 3 months, and then did the same again. So laboratory testings. In the next training camps, we did some FTP tests and just tried to figure out about how you can transport the data of the laboratory testing outside into the field, and to check if everything is from the values valid, if the athlete is able to have the laboratory data transported to the outside, to check if he's able to do the pacing stuff for all that, for the performance data, and so on and so on. So this is what we're doing in daily business, when it's not only about the Alpecin Cycling Challenge. And what we want to do by now is to have some sort of the main let's say insights, or the main parts of the whole training process transported into the Alpecin Cycling Challenge, which means let's do performance testings. Let's take the performance test as a basis for training values, for the training zones, for everything which belongs to training in the next 3 months. Do a lot of structured training you can get on Training Peaks, for example, or you can also see in the blog on alpecincycling.com. And to take the Training Peaks data, or the Training Peaks training Unix, for example, to have all the stuff transferred to your Wahoo, bring it on Zwift, do whatever you want to do to motivate yourself to get off the couch, and then do the FTPs again in the end. So let's summarize it. It's more or less the same you do in professional cycling or triathlon, just maybe a little bit more standardized and not like individual on every athlete. But this is what we want to have with the Alpecin Cycling Challenge.
I have one short interruption, because if you guys outside, you want to ask Björn a few things about FTP or training or physiological things about cycling, do not hesitate to send us in the chat questions or in the comments. We will answer it in this live event. And I think Lude is pushing really hard, between 380 and 400 watts. I think this is really, really cool. What I want to ask you, Björn, sometimes the pros, the cycling pros, do also the FTP tests on the Randa of Mallorca. Is this correct, or is this? When I was on Mallorca, I saw sometimes pros which are riding really, really hard on to the Randa, to the top.
The good thing about performance, or even more power output. So by now, since 25 years in cycling and triathlon, we are able to measure power output. And power output means that whether it comes to like maximum sprint over 3 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, whatever you want to do with power output. Result interpretation set 3 seconds for the sprinters, for example, like 8 minutes if you want to have an issue about some sort of threshold, or maybe also VO2 max values if the testing is shorter. Otherwise, you could go on not only on Randa, or which means like for a pro athlete, I would say like 8 to what's the Strava.com on Randa? Should be like 9.5 minutes, maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I have no idea. For me, it's a long time to go up.
Yeah, for sure. But for us, it means like 15 minutes, but that we are far away from the Strava.com. So therefore, I would say, so just I don't have a clue at the moment, but if I should guess, I would say it's like 9 minutes 30 seconds, and it could be some kind of athlete who is not a real climber, but maybe some thought of being not the worst climber, but being a good time trialist. So maybe it's still Fabian Cancellara holding the Strava.com on the Randa. I don't know. So I don't think he is,
Rowan
but
Dennis.
it could be possible. Rowan Dennis could be possible. Good choice. Rowan Dennis could be possible. So, and then maybe sounds a bit weird, but maybe we can put the hills on Mallorca into all the physiological stuff. So when it comes to Randa, the Randa is still that short that it's about like 9 minutes, that maybe Rowan Dennis can be also holding the Strava.com on an uphill climb. Maybe Rowan Dennis would be not possible to get the Strava.com if it comes to the uphill climb to Klosterlück, because it will be significantly longer, which means like I would say Strava.com Klosterlück, just guessing by now, so I wasn't prepared for the question, but should be like 15 minutes maybe, around that. So maybe nearly double the time you can have on the Randa. So 15 minutes is even too long maybe for a time trialist who has a bit more of weight to get the Strava.com on an uphill climb, which means about 6% in average of going uphill.
I think it's 12 and a half. Sorry.
12 and a half, that is fast. So my Strava, my last Strava 3 years ago, I think on Klosterlück was like I don't want to talk about it. So let's
but
stop that.
It's including a coffee stop, or?
Yeah, 22 minutes, but it was like drinking coffee was included, correct.
Okay.
And just go ahead. So let's take the maybe longest climb you can have on Mallorca and go to Sacalora, where the Strava.com means something like maybe, so my last time was like kind of, I don't know, like 45 to 50 minutes. I don't know exactly. But Strava.com will be something like 33 to 36 minutes. I don't know it exactly. But it's not only like 33 minutes, it's also about a very an average climb of like 7 to 8%, where you have to be a climber. And let's put it into physiological data. So if you're going 30 minutes on an uphill climb with like 7 to 8% of average climbing, you cannot be some sort of a sprinter or classic rider, because your lactate production rate, which you do need for sprinting, attacking, going over the paves with a lot of power over 30 seconds, will limitate you in going very, very fast for 30 minutes. So maybe we can, just explain it in comparison to all the Strava climbs, for example, or not the Strava climbs, but Strava comps on the Mallorca climbs, because this means a lot about the physiological data. And 20 minutes of FTP just means average power, 20 minutes, get like 5 to 10% off of the average power over 20 minutes, and you got your FTP. And FTP is just the main level of your endurance performance level, which does not mean that you're the best bike rider, because when it comes to Champs-Élysées, hopefully at the end of September, then maybe this year, you'll have someone winning the stage who has not the highest FTP in the level. This will be someone who has maximum lactate production rate on a very high level, being able to have a high power output for a short time, higher than maybe anyone else in the field, who will win the 21st stage of the Tour de France at Champs-Élysées. And therefore, let's summarize it again. FTP, your endurance level or your performance level, maybe the most valid value you can have, and very important to put your threshold on Training Peaks, to have your training values or training zones on the right level, and to do best training for the next 3 months.
Okay, I see we have halftime. It's I think 12 minutes are over now. And Lude, do you hear me?
Yes, super.
How is your feeling at the moment?
Super. Oh, I was already counting and I thought it's only 7 minutes left.
Okay, cool. we have a short delay, I think. But that's really cool for you that we have the delay. Okay.
Now I push all out. I push all out.
Okay, what was the last time you suffered so hard in a Tour de France stage like today?
10 kilos ago.
Can you remember a stage which was so hard?
Yeah, the Tour de France is super hard.
For all stages.
For bad riders. What I've been. The problem is 3 weeks. It's crazy. The third week, you go to breakfast, you go down the scale, and you think, I can't ride my bike today. I tell the rest afterwards.
Okay, push, cool. It's really cool, but you look great.
And just to say it again, so by now, if there's anybody out there being at like 12, 30, 50, or 40 or 15 minutes, so the end of the FTP test will about like 5, 6, 7 minutes so far. Everybody's suffering by now. If you're not suffering, you had too low power output so far. So just go full gas, go ahead, try to go full gas for the next 5, 6, 7 minutes, and put everything out you can, and yeah, just go like all out, and yeah, put it all in.
Yeah, I think we have to motivate the other guys also. I've heard it from our regie. Björn, what can you say to the other guys?
So same procedure. So if you are at the mid of the test or even more than halftime, like 12, 13, 14 minutes, just go full gas from now on. So far, everybody was suffering to this point. Everybody had even some weak moments where you ask yourself why the hell you are doing this on a Wednesday afternoon or evening. So what you have to do from now on is to go full gas for the last minutes, put everything out you can, try to stay a little bit stable at the power output for the next 2, 3, 4 minutes, if it's not the end in 4 minutes, and then put everything out in the last 2 minutes. So go full gas, just full gas.
Okay, we get one question from the chat, and yeah, it's a nerdy question, but you love it, Björn. Björn loves science because that's his question. Is the FTP value really 0.95 of the 20-minute power, or does it depend how well trained you are? I think it's your question, or?
So it's not about how well trained you are, but it's about how your physiological performance level is, which means if you are a good sprinter, you're already well trained, but the performance level or even your physiology is not really made to have a maximum high power output for 20 minutes. So let's do it easy. You have the power output over 20 minutes, which is like, let's say 300 watts. And then the question is, how can you go from 20 minutes power output, 300 watts, to your FTP? And the normal values you find on the internet or wherever you look at is something in between cutting 5 to 10% off. And if we are focusing on the 5 to 10%, so real life data or physiological stuff is that it's not only about 5 to 10, but it could be about 2 to 15%. But let's keep it simple so far. And if we have like 5 to 10%, then the main question is how high your anaerobic performance level is. And what I have to say more loud is the anaerobic performance level, which means is if you are a good sprinter, a classic rider or something like that, and if you're able to push really hard, high power outputs over 67s, I'm guessing that your anaerobic performance level is pretty high, and the higher your anaerobic performance level is, the more percentage you have to cut off from the 20 minutes of power output over the over the FTP testings. So if you're some kind of a GC rider who has his general classification in mind, who can go very fast uphill, but just for, let's say 20, 30, 40 minutes, the last guys who are still standing on the very long uphill climbs at the Tour de France, you can guess that they have very low anaerobic power and that they would lose any kind of sprint against the Sagans, Van der Poels, whatever you can find, and maybe even against you and me. Nah, maybe not like that, but they are pretty bad in doing some anaerobic performance output. And if you have some kind of sprinter or classic rider, or even take the guys doing the sprint royale test on the Champs-Élysées, then you can guess that the anaerobic performance is that high as they have to generate high performance output or power output over a very short period of time. Then you can guess that the anaerobic performance level is high, and the higher it is, the more percentage you have to cut off. So do it easy. Take something in between the 5 to 10%. I would always recommend to take the 10% cutting off from the 20 minutes to the FTP. Main or most important thing is to do it on the same level. So in between the first and the second FTP test, the percentage of cutting off needs to be the same. So it's not about at the first FTP test, it's about 10% because I'm not well trained. And in the end, I'm cutting off 5%. That would not be a good stuff. So take the same percentage, whether it's 5 to 10% or 10%, but take the same for the first and the second FTP test.
Okay, I think we are in the last minute. Or Lude, Lude, go. We have to cheer. Come on.
Go. Full gas, Lude. Go ahead.
I think he's in the tunnel, or Lude, come on.
How far is it, Lude? Tell us. How many seconds do you have to go?
Half a minute.
Okay,
good.
Cool.
30 seconds. Go ahead. Full gas. Put everything out you can.
It's your last sprint. I think it will be
go.
like 400 watts in the end for the 20 minutes, or? It looks like.
Whoa, 470, 450 watts. Go ahead. Full gas. Go,
Lude, great.
Go. Man, good job. Keep going.
Hard.
I can see something in the comments like you'll get a gin tonic afterwards.
Yeah.
So think of beer, gin tonic, whatever you have.
Okay, cool.
The problem is my weight.
Really.
No. Do not think about weight. It's about gin tonic and whatever by now. Go ahead. Good job, man.
You
Very
get it
well done.
from Ollie. You get a gin tonic. I see it in the chat. That's
Thanks,
nice.
Ollie. Thanks, guys. Was good.
Very well done.
Didn't push too hard in the beginning, but I had also, from the feeling, a good day. I trained Thursday, Friday, Saturday really hard. Maximum 3 hours per day, but 10 times 6 minutes on the FTP. Sunday easy, Monday easy. Yesterday 1 hour with twice 5 minutes, and today I had really, from what I can do with 79 kilos. I have to look there, sorry. I did everything I could, and in the end it's watt per kilogram ratio what counts, but in the end, at least in the pretty flat environments, I can still push pretty good, and Yeah, it's a good basic power for the upcoming month, and we get through this crisis. For me, this has been a really good push of motivation. To be honest, I would never ever have trained the last 5 days for this test, and I would never ever have done this 20-minute suffering. So in the end, it was a brilliant idea. Sorry for the technical problems. It has been our first time as well. We all get more and more and deeper into this. Before we stop, I quickly want to say thank you to Maurizio, to Phil, to Celine, Dries, and Mathieu van der Poel. Maybe he will talk a little bit about his secret. I cannot estimate, but he will be by far higher from the watts, and he's, I guess, in the shape I saw him, around 74, 73.5 kilograms, but we all know he's an animal. But I guess his FTP should be around 450, 455 watts with 5-6 kilograms less. So there's a reason why he's one of the best one-day riders on the planet. And yeah, thanks Björn and Daniel already. It was your idea to set this up. And at least in 3 months, we will see each other with a nice setup like this. Guys, please remember, when you do the next test, Björn mentioned it already, you have to keep in mind you need the same setup, the same bike, and the same indoor trainer. Yeah, cool. I just got told that Mathieu will join us once again. Let's see. Maybe we can get some secrets out of him, but I'm not sure. Let's see. I just got my gin tonic. Thanks, guys. And a nice fat pizza is waiting. No, really, this is the curious thing about it when you start. The days when I go by bike 1 hour in the morning without eating to the office, and by bike back 1 hour in the evening, I take by far more care of what I eat than when I go by car. For some people, it's not good to ride without food in the morning. I guess if you ask 5 guys like Björn, you get 10 different answers. But I, for myself, found out it's the best way to lose weight. I nearly always have the similar power, in between 330, 350 watts. But if I lose 5 kilograms, then I really have the power to hurt other body's legs. Right now with 80 kilograms, 79 kilograms, yes, 390 is a good power, but uphill, when I sometimes ride with a good friend of mine, 9 kilos less, nearly the same shape, I can't get rid of him. 9 kilograms is such a big difference. I don't know, Björn, you can maybe estimate, but on a hill of 8-9%, I guess he has to push 40, 45 watts less than me then in that moment, right?
Sorry, audio was off. Yeah, totally right. Because so weight is always important if it comes to uphill climbing for sure. But I guess when we talk about just the FTP values, then it's totally fine to not only have the weight in mind, but also main thing is have the power output in mind. So Mathieu, for sure, yeah, I think we do not have to talk about him when it comes to power output and power to weight ratio and everything you have, because yeah, he's perfect in everything, whether it comes to flat stages. I guess maybe there will be some day when he will win the Tour de France, because he's not only the best rider for classics, cross, mountain biking, and so on, but also for flat parts, uphill climbs, and time trials. So therefore, this is something phenomenal we will not find in cycling very often. But at first, I would say FTP value, power output over 20 minutes is important, but yeah, weight also for sure. But and your tips were totally right when it comes to riding before breakfast and so on. And therefore, I would say let's focus on the power output over the 20 minutes. If you're losing 2, 3, 4 kilograms of weight throughout the Alpecin Cycling Challenge, I think we do not hesitate to do so. So let's go ahead and let's go for training by now.
Yeah, thanks, guys. For me, it has been, as mentioned, a really nice kickoff. I'm now fully motivated to do even more indoor training. Thanks again to our partners, to Wahoo and all the others. Thanks to Arbus, by the way. It would have been, you guys know I'm crazy, but I only thought 1 second about wearing a helmet on the indoor trainer to show the latest Arbus air breaker. We just got them, and we got them in our own individual design. So thanks to Martin and to Axel, if you guys are listening. So yeah, it's a bad time. It's a freaking crisis. Everybody is facing these issues, and I'm super, super happy to be able to count on partners like Björn with steps. Normally we would have been in a super nice trainings camp in Caldaro. 1 second. Okay. Okay, right now we can't get a hold of Mathieu, but we will see. But yeah, guys like Björn, you all immediately mentioned, let's try, let's move to new worlds, to new challenges, and let's try it out. Assos, Canyon, whoever, all those guys, Wahoo, thanks for supporting us in this crazy, stupid, unbelievable, unexpected times. But yeah, we have to cope with the situation. We have a connection to Belgium, I've just heard. So let's see. Hopefully he has a little bit of sweat in his face, at least. It's crazy, yeah. It's hard to find a guy like him. Björn, you just mentioned it. He can win out of a group of 80 riders in a fast sprint. And if the mountain is not too long, it's hard to get rid of him as a proper mountain rider, as a climber. I'm happy we have Mathieu and Dries and Celine and Tim and all those guys under contract. I'm happy my boss decided to move to this product, to this project of Alpecin Phoenix with and run by the Rotov brothers. First, people might have thought, Alpecin is doing a step back from World Tour level towards Pro Conti. But in the end, if I look back, we already have 23 victories, and there he is, Mathieu, once again, world champion in cyclocross. Hey, thanks for joining. At least I can see a little bit red in your face, so you have at least sweated, right?
A lot of sweat.
Very good, thanks a lot. How did you feel after 5 hours on the mountain bike this morning? How did you feel here, 20 minutes full gas?
It was really hard. I think the test started for me after 5 hours and 45 minutes on the bike today, so it's a little bit like the final in a classic race. But I enjoyed it. It was fun to join you guys in doing an FTP-Test.
I know you can't talk about the important, crazy, hidden secrets of your values, but I would say you are really good in shape. So I have estimated your weight around 74.5, 75 kilograms. Or is it the nice new kit my friends and me have created because you look that slim?
No, I'm still on my race weight, so yeah, I'm still in pretty good shape, but the intensity is a little bit out of the training. So
Mathieu, you have to put out your tone, otherwise we hear you double. Talk about the
my tone.
Important, crazy
and how do I do this?
Of your values, but
Wait,
what
maybe
is-
I'll try it
I
like
would
this.
say you are really good in
Is it
shape.
better
So
like
I
this?
have estimated your weight. We have a
around
loop.
74.5,
Is it better like this?
kilograms. Or is it the nice
Turn off
new
YouTube,
kit
please.
my friends and me have created
Oh.
because you look that slim?
Are you still in YouTube? You are watching the stream?
No.
Okay. Ah, now it's off. It's better now.
Pretty good shape.
Yeah.
The intensity is a little bit out of the
Is it better now?
Mathieu, you have to put out your tone, otherwise we hear you double.
Talk about the
My tone.
important, crazy
Wir haben eine Schleife drin. Ne?
of your values, but
Can you hear me again?
Now it seems perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, thanks.
Good.
So we didn't, to be honest, understand anything of the last 30 seconds. If you can repeat a little bit. So I asked you about your weight, and
Yes.
you are pretty good in shape, you think, right?
Yes, my weight is still the same as in race
Wow.
season. So yeah, I'm still on my good weight, but I just keep on riding my bike, and it's just a habit I have. So it's not really difficult for me to stay in shape.
That's the crazy good thing about you. We just talked a little bit about the potential, and we try to analyze why a guy like you is able to also win sprints, but to also go that fast in time trial, cyclocross, and uphill. But I think the best of you is your passion. You love riding your bike, don't you? You just love it.
Yeah, I do. Especially off-road, it's really fun. But I always loved riding my bike as I was a kid already. So I think it's just a passion I have, and I don't think it will go away soon.
I heard one last question, if this is a real story. I heard about a rest day in Livigno when somebody brought an e-mountain bike and you said, hey, I go for a test ride on a rest day, and you came back only after 4.5 or 5 hours.
Yeah, it's true. I really love to ride the e-bike as well. So I did it every day. Eventually in Livigno, even after long trainings in the evening, I always took the e-mountain bike to go for a ride, and it's really fun. And I love to be in the mountains as well. And yeah, I enjoy cycling in general. So for me as well now, it's really not difficult to keep training and to stay in shape. So when the races will be back soon, I hope I will be ready for it.
Yeah, at least we got a new calendar today, and fingers crossed we can see you very soon in the TV again in the races which are happening in the analog world. And thanks for joining this little first initial kick-off of the Alpecin Cycling digital world. Has been a pleasure to have Dries, Celine and you on board, and fingers crossed, stay healthy. And yeah, I love to see you in shape like this. Thanks, Mathieu. Thanks a lot.
You guys as well. Thank you.
Ja, manchmal habe ich ihn leider nicht mehr verstehen können. Ich weiß nicht, wie es euch da draußen gegangen ist. Ach so, wir müssen ja Englisch sprechen. Sorry, guys. You see what an FTP-Test does with me. I changed my language. So I don't know exactly how much different there is in the stream and on my headphones. I couldn't understand everything, but most of it. And yeah, hopefully we will have him on the road soon again. Fine? Okay. Tim, komm mal gerade. I mean, in the end, we tried today, and we cannot kiss, but it has been a first try, and I think we at least tried to bring this digital world a little bit closer into your pain caves, bedrooms, living rooms, children's rooms, wherever you guys are located with your indoor trainer. Thanks to everybody who helped us with this test and the FTP test itself. Hope you guys have been motivated a little bit by Alpecin Cycling, by us. I will really try to keep my level of power and decrease my weight. To be honest, this is my biggest issue. I've always been somehow a turbo diesel engine, so the power is there from my history. But I love sweets. I love sweets. All these chips and pommes and burger and all this, I'm not even interested in. But sweets, sometimes it's hard for my little one Mia to get a hold of sweets because Big Daddy has moved away all this rubbish. But yeah, I love it, and I've suffered 20 years in my cycling, let's call it career. Okay, it's time to say good night. It's time to say thank you. It's time to say goodbye. Tim, how much time do we have? Okay.
Say goodbye and we'll join you all.
I can say goodbye and hope to see you guys soon on the road. And if we have to get along with this situation a bit longer, we get in touch on a digital way again. Goodbye.